guys, it is Dani'i and welcome to this updated video on the tropics. And so guys, in this video we're going to be talking about the latest on tropical storm Elsa. So now we have a tropical storm coming from what was potential tropical cyclone 5, and so we're going to be talking about it in details. A lot of areas are under tropical storm watches and warnings, and the Greater Antilles are at risk, as well as potentially Florida. And so guys, before I go into details, alright guys, and so first things first, let's take a look at the satellite view of Elsa. And so we're seeing here that it is getting a lot better organized than it did yesterday and the days before that. So we're expecting it to look a lot better. It's going to be remaining in those favorable conditions, and we're expecting some strengthening during the next couple of days. And so now let us move on to the National Hurricane Center's 5-day outlook for it. And so we're seeing here that the maximum sustained winds of Elsa as of right now are 40 miles per hour, and it is accelerating to the west at 25 miles per hour. And so we're expecting that it is going to be crossing over in the Eastern Caribbean by sometime on Friday in the afternoon, and then by Sunday it is going to be just off the coast of Haiti, and it's going to pass just north of Jamaica. Remember guys, this is a cone to track the center of the system and not the entire system. So even though the center might be offshore, that doesn't mean that the rest of the storm is. It's just the center, and so dangerous conditions are still very possible regardless of the system being onshore or a bit offshore. And so there, what you're seeing in blue is a tropical storm warning that is in place. And so tropical storm warning is in effect for Barbados, Martinique, St. Lucia, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and the tropical storm watch is in effect for Guadeloupe and Grenada and its dependencies, and the tropical storm watch is highlighted in yellow. And so tropical storm warning means that tropical storm-like conditions are expected somewhere within the warning area within 36 hours, while a watch is where tropical storm-like conditions are possible within the next 36 hours as well. And so interests elsewhere in the Windward Islands, Leeward Islands, the Virgin Islands, Puerto Rico, the Dominican Republic and Haiti should closely monitor the progress of the system. And there is something that I want to point out guys. So the track has definitely shifted a bit more south, and so the island of Jamaica is now more in that cone of uncertainty. And remember guys, the cone is really anywhere where the center of the system might go, and so it is still far out. It's not even in the Caribbean as yet, and so changes are inevitable. And so it is likely that we will see changes in the track as we approach this weekend going into early next week. But as of right now, if you're in the cone at any given point, you could be seriously affected by the system here, not even in the cone, because there is a tropical storm watch for some of our Leeward Islands and the system is passing south of there. But because it is so big, the rainfall is going to be very widespread guys. So regardless of you being in the cone or not, once you're going to be close somewhat, you will be impacted by the system with some potential heavy rainfall, some gusty winds and some surge. So let's talk about the expected impacts or the hazards affecting land. So wind, tropical storm conditions are expected in portions of the Windward and Southern Leeward Islands within the warning area on Friday. Tropical storm conditions are possible in the watch areas on Friday as well. And so in terms of the rainfall, Elsa is expected to produce rainfall totals of 3 to 6 inches with maximum totals of 8 inches on Friday across the Windward and Southern Leeward Islands, including Barbados. And this rain may lead to isolated flash flooding and mudslides. And so guys, if you are in the areas to be impacted, if you're in the Greater Antilles, you want to be cautious. And so looking at early next week, the system is going to be making its way over Cuba, and then it could make its way to Florida. And so let's look at what our different models are expecting in terms of the track. And so here we have it. So we have quite a few expecting that it is going to be just between 3 of the islands of the Greater Antilles, Cuba, Jamaica, Hispaniola, and we have some taking it over Jamaica, 2 expected to cross over southern Haiti and turn out to sea. But the likelihood as of right now is that the system is going to be making its way maybe slightly north of Jamaica or even over Jamaica, and then making its way over Cuba, and then making a curve up to the north and turning out to the northeast. And so guys, if you're in Florida, please keep an eye on this, because Elsa could even potentially strengthen if it makes its way into the Gulf of Mexico, especially with favorable conditions lingering to help it to intensify. So guys, if you're in Florida, you really want to be on the lookout for this. But as of right now, most of the Windward Islands, the Southern Leeward Islands, and the Greater Antilles will be impacted by the system. And again, it's not even a question right now. It is expected. And so now let's move on to the model intensity guidance. And so we have have quite a bit going on right here. A lot of malls available, and we have a lot of fluctuations being seen here, but we can definitely draw the conclusion that a lot of our models, I would say probably most or half of the number, expecting that Elsa is going to become a Category 1 hurricane. We have a few saying that it is going to achieve Cat 2 status, and personally I think that there is the possibility it is a hurricane in the Caribbean, because the maximum expected intensity is around 60-65 miles per hour, somewhere around there. And so usually when you have winds that strong, and if the system affects anywhere, the gusts are usually higher, so there can be gusts up to hurricane force winds, and again the system is quite far out, and so a lot of times we tend to see them being so far, and when they move in they are a lot stronger than initially anticipated. So we definitely have to watch Elsa in the coming days, because things are going to get very interesting once it makes its way into the Caribbean, guys. And so looking at the ocean temperature map, we're seeing here that ocean temperatures are supportive to help Elsa to definitely intensify, and even in the Gulf as well. So if it's going to be making its way into the northwestern Caribbean, it is going to be encountering some warmer ocean temperatures that are going to be helping it to intensify further. And then let's take a look at the wind shear map. And so the different colors here mean different shear intensities. So when you see those yellows, greens, blues, the shear is favorable to help our systems intensify. But as we go to the oranges and the reds, things are a bit of a struggle for our systems to develop. And then as we head to that pinkish shade, things are way too unfavorable to help our systems to develop. And so Elsa is relatively low latitude here, and so we're seeing that it is going to be in a favorable region, which is why strengthening is anticipated during the next couple of days, guys. And so I wouldn't be surprised if it defies the odds and rapidly intensify, guys. And again, if you're in the Lesser Antilles, the Greater Antilles, and even Florida, you really want to keep an eye on the system here, because it is going to be bringing impacts to your area. And so let's look again at that satellite imagery of the tropics. And so here we're seeing actually what was Invest 95L. The remnants are making their way across the region. So we see that shower and thunderstorm activity is rapidly decreasing in terms of what was 95L, and so they're going to be making their way across, and they might enhance the weather across some of our Greater Antilles, maybe Hispaniola, parts of the Virgin Islands, Puerto Rico, even Jamaica, if they even manage to go that far. So it is possible that these little remnants could result in a bit of inclement weather, nothing much expected. But behind it, or rather to the southeast of it, here we have Elsa that is going to be making her way in. And so guys, the season has definitely begun. Things are getting active. Things are going to be very interesting, and so I urge you all to please prepare and stay safe. And so guys, that is it for this update video on Elsa. And so if you found it to be quite informative, please give a thumbs up, and you can also share your thoughts in the comments or ask a question. I will try to respond as best and as soon as I can. And just remember to always weather wise, and of course I'll keep you updated as time goes by.